Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Arlington. My name is Gail Crawford, and I serve as a proud member of our UUCA Board of Trustees. And this is a place where you can come to bring your whole self and be a part of this loving community. Whether this is your first time joining us, or this is your regular Sunday worship spot, if you're joining us online or hanging out in the chat there, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Sunday, March 1st, 2026. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's already March. I love spring too, I get it. Please, hurry. So here at UUCA, we are a community of radical acceptance. We come from all backgrounds, races, genders, sexual orientations, disabilities, and abilities, both seen and unseen. Whoever you may be, and wherever you are in your spiritual journey, come on in, walk with us. You are welcome here. Today is also the first Sunday of our annual giving campaign, where our theme is rising to our mission. Rise up, man. What a blessing it is to be a part of this community. Many years ago, when my husband and I decided to start a family, one of the fundamental discussions that we had was about faith and what foundation we wanted to create for our children. Because we'd both grown up in what I'll call houses of dogma and damnation, which I later learned was mostly damn dogma, we wanted our children to be seekers. So we sought for a place where they could learn and grow and be exposed to many wisdom traditions while learning fundamental principles of treating all people with dignity and respect, particularly when it comes to religion and their identity and their humanity. We found the Unitarian Universalist Church. We found religious education, or RE as it's known, and that was the draw for us in particular. It was RE that sold us on the UU faith, well, and the music. That said, thank you, David, and the Sanctuary Singers, and Fred for that beautiful selection. Our hope definitely does linger on. So it wasn't just RE and the music. We also had run into and gotten to know some really smart women giving some really heady sermons. But I know that none of this is free, and I know that you know that none of this is free. With regard to RE, I want other families with young children to come and learn and grow and develop and unfold and grow up to be good humans. So I personally give very generously to this beloved community because the work that's being done makes the world a better place. Whether it buys snacks for RE, helps pay for food for an event, supports the ministry in some way, provides money to hire fantastic musicians, pay our ministers for the important work they do in the community. Money is how we keep the lights on. With all the thrash and uncertainty that's going on in the world, doesn't it feel good to have an opportunity to be a part of something that is important? Be a person that can help to nourish this congregation, not just with your time and effort, which is important, but also, as Rev CTC says, with your cold, hard cash. So maybe think about all that happens here today that might meet you in your place of need. Whether it's the music or the sermon or the free coffee that you're having or just your presence in this beautiful sanctuary, I hope you'll be moved to give what you can to help us continue to thrive and rise to our mission. Okay, I have a couple of announcements. Like you said, it wouldn't be church without announcements. All right, couple of announcements. So this Friday is First Friday, and that means we're welcoming you to come on out and join us for pizza and a variety of board games here at the church. The games will be Catan, Codenames, Scrabble, to name a couple. And also, March 6th, this coming Friday, is a very important national holiday. It is, anybody know what this Friday is? It's National Oreo Cookie Day. One person knew. So we'll also have a variety of Oreos for you to sample. And as always, everyone's welcome to come to First Friday. It is free. Second announcement is about UUCA Resistance. UUCA Resistance is meeting today after church in the volunteer room to plan our participation in the next No Kings Day on March 28th. Okay, I think that's what I have for announcements. One more thing I will say, please join us after the service in the fellowship hall for coffee and conversation. And if you prefer something a little bit quieter, a calmer space to chat, bring your coffee down to the welcome room all the way down the hall to your right. As you leave the sanctuary, look for a welcome mat, and one of our Sunday ambassadors will be waiting to greet you, answer your questions, or just enjoy a relaxing conversation. Finally, I will wrap up by saying, here at UUCA, we invite you all to come for community, live with purpose, and find inspiration together. Thank you.
Gail, thank you so much for that beautiful welcome and for inviting us to think about how we are part of the community as a whole and how our giving matters and how our presence matters. I am grateful to be with all of you today. I'm the Reverend Amanda Poppy. My pronouns are she, her. I serve here alongside my colleague, Reverend Carol Thomas Sissel, and I'm grateful this morning to be joined by sanctuary singers and to have our AV tech and our volunteers, all the people that make our Sundays possible, but most of all, that's you, whether you're online or here in the sanctuary, or in fellowship hall. Hello, back there. So I invite you in this moment to turn toward each other and to say hello, especially to someone you didn't come in with. Good morning, friends. It is good to be together. I hope you will continue the conversation and the connection in Fellowship Hall, or as Gail invited us in the welcome room after service. If you're online, I hope you're saying hello in the chat and connecting in that way. We are in the midst of the month of Ramadan. As our Muslim neighbors, those among us in this congregation, and people all around the world celebrate a time of intention and of attention, of fasting to focus the mind and heart on Allah, on God, and of connection to each other as the fast is broken in community. Today, I think of all who are honoring Ramadan and observing this holy time, particularly those who are doing so in places of conflict and war. I invite us this morning into a piece, a call to worship that comes from Elena Westbrook, titled "To Remind Ourselves What is Real." In a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts that seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is to be still for a moment, to remind ourselves what is real. The sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs. This hour, try just to be present in each moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy. Let us worship together.
One of our traditions on every Sunday morning is we light a candle of compassion. We send our energy, our love, and our compassion out to those in the world who are suffering from a myriad of hurts and wounds and harms. Today I'm lighting our candle of compassion and asking you all sitting here in these pews and watching online to acknowledge that we send compassion out because we are connected to one another. We're connected to everyone in this building and to everyone else around the world. So what I'd like you to do before I light this flame is to just take a moment and look around this room and make eye contact with someone and say these words: I see you. I see you, you matter to me. I see you, you matter to me. I see you, you matter to me. And now let's take a moment and light our chalice together. We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. And in one voice, we light this chalice as a symbol of the light in every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world. What's our opening hymn?
It is Building a New Way. I want to invite folks to rise in body or in spirit. We're going for 1017 in your teal hymnal. 1017.
Teal hymnal.
We are building a new way. We are building a Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without peace, this world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry.
All right, I would like to invite my younger friends to come up and join me. If you'd like to, come on up and sit on the rug. Come on and sit down. I am wondering if someone can tell me what this is. It is a $5 bill. Exactly. What is the larger category of what this is? Money. Yeah, exactly. This is money, right? And come on up. Come on up. Come on up. And so what do you all think money is for? What do people use money for? Yeah, shut up. Buying things. Yeah, some examples would be shopping for clothes. Yeah, absolutely. What else do people use money for, Teague? Coca-Cola? Specifically. Yeah, they sure do. That's correct. Yes, Bryn. Something like toys. You could use it to buy toys. Yes, what else? You could use it to buy food. Absolutely. Yeah. You could use it to buy, more generically, soda. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You want to add to that? And Pop-Tarts. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Normal water. You could use money to buy normal water. That's right. We're going to actually talk a little bit about the commodification of environmental resources later in our service. That's totally right. You can buy water with it. Yes. Yeah, what would you add, Penelope? What? You could buy furniture with it. You could buy almost anything that you need to have. What would you like to add? Yes. A soda drink. Yes, definitely. One more. Say it louder. You need to be able to pay the water bill. Someone is having good conversations at home about how we manage finances in a home. That's absolutely right. Water, actually, whether we buy it at a store or whether we buy it in our homes that we rent or that we own, costs money. That's right. So, can anyone think of anything else you might do with money that isn't buying something for yourself? You've named a lot of things that we need, right? We need food, we need furniture, we need a place to sit in our house, we need water in our own homes. What else might we do with money? What do you think?
Donate to like hospitals, like children.
Donate it to hospitals or children's centers. Absolutely, yeah. What else might you do with it that isn't for you? Yeah, what do you think? Buy a toy for someone else. A toilet for someone else, yes. Totally, yeah, that's right. You might buy basic needs for someone else, right? Yeah. Use it for a yard sale. Yeah, absolutely. Bryn, last one. You can save it for things you want when you get older. That's right. We have identified some of the main things you can do with money. You can use it right away for something that you need or that you want. You can save it for when you want something later, when you get older or in the future. Or you can use it to give to someone else, to help someone else or to get them the things that they need, the basic things that they need, right? So I want to invite you all into a little bit of an experiment with me. I have enough of these, I think, for each one of you. So I'm going to send it home with you, but here's the catch. This $5, what do you think? You'll help out. This $5 can only be used to help someone else. You get to decide what that looks like. That could be someone in your family. It could be someone that you do not know. It could be an organization or a person. It's such a popular time for all ages. Yep.
Put it in my college bank account.
You have to give it to someone else. You can't save it for later or use it for something for yourself now. Come on up, that's fine, yeah. Can you exchange $5 bills with other people? I'm gonna say that sounds like it might cause, yeah, you okay? You got it, Olivia? That might cause mayhem, so I'm gonna say no. In fact, I'm gonna ask to make sure that your grown-up who is with you comes and maybe they hang on to it during class. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? Can you help me out and reach? Okay, great, thank you. Attached to that $5 bill, 2 more, yep, is a sheet of paper. Come on over, I have another one. Can you share your sheet of paper? Okay, is a sheet of paper that invites you to tell me what you did with your $5. Who did you decide to help? And you can either email me or you can write on the paper and bring it in next week and tell me about what it was that you did and who you helped. So be sure to talk with your grown-ups about it. Grown-ups, got it? Got a piece of paper, super. And come back and let us know what happened. When you helped someone, what happened? What did you pick? How did you decide? And then what happened from there? Okay, I am excited to hear some of the stories. We have a multi-gen service next week, so we're gonna all be together, and I hope we're gonna get to share some of those stories. Do you have a question before we head to class? Yes?
There's little stuff, so if anyone steals the money, the police know, and if they trade it back for fake money, and they put little I spy stuff on it.
Yes.
So when they spy light on it, then you can see stuff on it.
Yes, we're talking about the printing of money to reduce counterfeit bills in circulation extremely accurately, I will say. So great noticing. That is all real money, and I cannot wait to hear the stories of what you did with it. We're gonna send you along to your classes. Folks, make an arch for them to come through as we sing them on their way. You got it.
Peace to you on your way. May you grow in love each day, meeting new friends and opening your mind to the wonders of the world you will find. To the wonders of the world you will find.
We'll see. Let's take a moment and bring ourselves fully into this space by breathing, by putting both of your feet firmly on the floor, by adjusting yourself in your seat where your bottom is on the pew. Bring yourself here, right into this space. Today I have a simple prayer from you. It's Mahatma Gandhi's prayer for peace. It offers love and friendship. It asks us to bring understanding to others and recognize that we have a shared divinity. These simple words emphasize that peace is an active internal process, a process rather than just a passive wish. The prayer for peace. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I see that source in you. Let us work together for unity and love. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and love. The words of Gandhi.
Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí, y al corazón cántale tu compasión. Sopla volar, sube en la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arráigame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
The reading that I have for you today. Oh no, offering. Oh, I get to get the money, don't I? That's right. I forgot I get to get the money. As we enter this season of giving, as we enter our stewardship this month, we have someone special to talk to you about stewardship and giving here at UUCA. Will Wells please come forward? There he is. You are welcome, Wells. Yes, please, so they can hear you.
Good morning. My name is
Morning.
Wells McCurdy, and I'm very proud to be a member of this year's giving team. As you may have heard, our theme is Rising to Our Mission, and that underlies all the good work we're going to do this year. I look around me on this beautiful morning, and I see so much that has become of value to me. There's the building itself and all the projects it houses. There's the projects that keep me busy and engaged. And of course, there's all of you. And I'm very happy to play a part in keeping it all going. As you may have heard, we're kicking off the annual giving campaign this morning. That's for 2026-27. The annual giving campaign is one of the church calendar's most valuable and important events. It provides the assurance that our programs continue, that our staff is recognized for their tireless devotion, and the building stays in good shape. We're making the pledge process as simple and streamlined as possible. with full explanations of how your contributions will be used. If you haven't already, you'll soon receive in the mail a small package with a cover letter introducing the program, a pledge card, and a brochure that provides some details about how the funds are distributed and organized. For you people who love to dig down into the details, there's also a link that'll bring you to all the various spreadsheets and reports that explain in detail what happens with the money that we're donating and how they support all the projects of the church. And if you can't wait for the mail to arrive, we have brochures and pledge cards on the pews, and there's a pile of them at the table in the back. That's the table with the blue tablecloth. And it's our hope that, if possible, if you're able, you'll maybe step up your pledge for this year. That may make amends for some of our people who, for whatever reasons, are not able to contribute a bit more this year than last year. The annual giving campaign will staff a table each week this month. Like I said, it's in the back with a blue tablecloth. And somebody from our team will be there to answer your questions and give you some guidance. So I look forward to all the good things we'll accomplish over this year as together we rise to our mission. So I wish you a good day, and thank you for letting me spend some time with you this morning. Bye.
Thank you, Wells. Will the ushers please collect our offering? In this month of giving and this season of stewardship, we will still follow our tradition where 70% of our offering on Sunday goes to an organization in the community that we support that helps us live our values. In this month of March, that 70% will go to one of our partner organizations that help us make the world a better place. Please bring the offering forward. And we'll bless the offering with the words that you hear every Sunday. We bless and receive these gifts, opening our hearts to true generosity. And in one voice, let us be grateful when we give, be it time, talent, or treasure. Let us be grateful for our needs and the experience of vulnerability. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts to nurture this congregation. Thank you all. Our reading today that Rev. Amanda has selected is from Decolonizing Wealth, and it was written by Edgar Villanueva. Materially, money is a bit of nickel, zinc, copper. It's a little bit of linen, mostly cotton, a touch of ink. It's basically Kleenex adorned with dead presidents. Actually, today, mostly it is a series of zeros and ones, bytes, data on screens. Feels imaginary, harmless. And in fact, the Bible doesn't say money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. In other words, when we let it be more important than life itself, than relationships, than humanity. I'm not saying there aren't problems with money when it's hoarded, controlled, used to divide people, to oppress and dominate. But that's not the money's fault. Inherently, money is value neutral. But humans have used money wrongfully. We've made money more important than human life. We've allowed it to divide us. That is a sin. We forget that we humans made money up out of thin air as a concept, a tool for a complex society, a placeholder for aspects of human relations. We forget that we gave money its meaning and its power. Money is like water. Water can be a precious, life-giving resource, but what happens when water is dammed? Or when a water cannon is fired on protesters in sub-zero temperatures? Money should be a tool of love used to facilitate relationships, to help us thrive rather than hurt and divide us. If it's used for sacred, life-giving, restorative purposes, money can be medicine. From Decolonizing Wealth by Edgar Villanueva.
Thanks, David. I think one of my most frequent wishes in ministry, particularly in parish ministry, this job of running a congregation, leading a people, my most frequent wish is that I had just plenty of money, like buckets of it, Or somehow, even more magically, that money didn't exist. That every single thing that we wanted to do here, every program we wanted to start, every staff member I wanted to bring on the team, every justice program out there we wanted to support, that everything was possible with no budgetary restrictions. So that when Nikki, our administrator, came and said that the HVAC needed another repair, or when David, our director of music, comes and says we should fix is it the blower on the organ? I would say a big magical, yes, do it all. I shall pay for it with fairy dust and the power of the chalice flame. I do not say that when they come and tell me what thing is broken next, or when someone comes with an amazing dream of what might be possible. It turns out that fairy dust is not accepted currency by most HVAC contractors, and the power of the chalice flame is bad for the organ. Kind of gets burny. And neither of those things are particularly useful for our hardworking staff, as they don't pay rents or mortgages or daycare bills or all the things that life continues to ask from us. Perhaps you are like me, in that both you want either all the money in the world to do everything that you might want to do, and also wish that money just didn't exist at all. Or perhaps you simply feel, again, as I do, that somehow money is not quite working the way it should in our society. Or maybe the other way around, as shared in our reading this morning, that our society has not quite managed this whole money thing right. I like to blame late-stage capitalism for a lot of things. I can't get the coffee I want. It's late-stage capitalism. There's traffic. There's late-stage capitalism. And so I put it in the title of this sermon. It's late-stage capitalism. That's the problem. And then I realized I didn't actually know what late-stage capitalism was. It sounded bad. I think we're in it. So I did a little bit of research and found an article from journalist Ben Thomas on Medium, which I found really helpful. There's nice charts and also pictures of presidents, so I think it's accurate. Thomas talks about specifically a form of capitalism, and I'm using some of his language here, characterized by a few pieces that I think will feel recognizable. Extreme income inequality, the widening of the gap between the wealthy elite and the rest of the population, as Thomas writes. The dominance of corporations and the ultra-wealthy. So in addition to that income gap, those ultra-wealthy and corporations have what he names substantial influence over both the economy and political processes. Along with that, the erosion of worker rights. So labor protections and worker rights are weakened within late-stage capitalism, leading to, as he names it, reduced bargaining power for laborers. Consumerism and financialization. And he talks about sort of the excessive consumption that fuels cravings for the next hit of dopamine. In other words, what we think matters is the acquisition of stuff, the things we find to be scarce in the world, so that we then therefore get, and each of these kind of builds on the other, a debt-based economy, an economy that relies on, quote, unsustainable levels of debt, both at the individual and national levels. The article that I read on Medium went through the history of sort of where this came from, beginning with Reaganomics and sort of tax bracket changes for both ultra-wealthy and then also folks with lower incomes. But those are the basic pieces: extreme income inequality, dominance of corporations and the ultra-wealthy, erosion of worker rights, consumerism and financialization, and therefore a debt-based economy. I was disappointed to find that nothing I read about late-stage capitalism suggests that it was late stage as in about to magically change into something else, something different, something better. In fact, one of the graphs on that great article I found projected wealth disparity in particular over the next 50 years. It was looking at the way that taxes are set up currently in terms of wealth accumulation and the ability, if you have a lot of wealth, to continue accumulating it, showing something very much not the end of late-stage capitalism and very much more a little Hunger Gamesy. The continued expansion of wealth inequality in this country. And so I tried to imagine what a magic wand would do, what we might build instead. If we understand that, as Villanueva says, money is value neutral, and instead it's about how we use it, what would our society look like then? What might we create if we were creating something different? We can imagine people having the basics of what they need. A society that was relational and interconnected. We might imagine living in a time and a space where money isn't the core thing that defines us, where our lives are not oriented around getting and having more, or getting and having barely enough, but rather around connection and care. And so I began to wonder how we might, as a people, as a community, how I might live the way I'd like to, that is to say relationally, interconnectedly, in a world where the main organizing principle of our economic system is not relational. It is not caretaking forward, right? So that made me think about ways that we can use the system that exists now, right, the one that we live in, to change the system. Most of my justice work and sort of my learning within justice work came out of community organizing bodies, similar to Voice in different areas. And those community organizing bodies generally describe power as organized people and organized money. That's all power is. It's organized people and organized money. And so I think about the ways that in a society where we are led by the economic system, where corporations hold dominance in both economic and also political processes, what are the ways that we, any of us, can organize our money to make change in that system? I think about some of the successful organizing against ICE and related ventures recently, like the boycotting of Avelo Airlines, which led ultimately to that airline dropping its deportation flights. Or about the organizing that's happening all over the country, and particularly in Minnesota, putting pressure on Target Corporation, based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, to not let ICE agents in the store to protect their employees and customers, not to allow ICE agents to gather and kind of do recon in the parking lot. One of my favorite anti-ICE demonstrations that I saw was a quick video of a suburban Target outside Minneapolis in Minnesota. I think it was in Edina, and a line of Minnesota moms and Minnesota grandmas waiting at the returns counter, each one of them having purchased a single container of salt that they needed to return right now, thank you, in a very long line that was going to take quite some time for that Target store to process. Clever, clever. And more than clever, it was an example of a way that regular people shopping in suburban places were using their purchasing power, were using the system that we have before us to push for change within the system. To say, fine, if corporations control the political process, then we'll put pressure on corporations and ask them to be part of making change. And I think we're seeing that. We're seeing the possibility for that. It takes all of us, obviously. And I suspect that many of you in this room have made some purchasing decision, some decision about where you put your money based on the values of that company that you're purchasing from. That many of us have different ways that we do the calculus of what we need and what we don't need and what we can change and what we can do with our money. But I also tried to imagine a different kind of economic system. What would it look like if we, little by little, and in the places that we could, invested in the kind of economy that we want to be part of? And I read a beautiful essay along those lines by Robin Wall Kimmerer. You might know Kimmerer from her work Braiding Sweetgrass, which is one of sort of the first book that brought her into the national stage. Kimmerer is an environmental biologist and an indigenous person, and really weaves together her life experience and identity and understanding of plants into new ways and systems to think about life, new to me. So I found an essay by Robin Wall Kimmerer called The Service Berry, which is a berry, a particular type of berry, An Economy of Abundance. The essay is so good that I briefly considered just reading you the essay, being like, today's sermon will be a staged reading of The Service Berry, An Economy of Abundance by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I'm not gonna do that, because I am asking you to give, among other things, to my salary, and it seems like probably I should do some work for that. But I highly recommend that you read this essay. It's available online, and it's beautiful and uplifting and possible. It's possible. Kimmerer talks about the service berry, and it could apply to berries in general, I think, as a gift given freely. She starts out describing picking service berries along with the birds around her, all of them stuffing their bellies full, and in her case, also her buckets. And the way that engaging with the service berry made her think about the possibility that everything offered to us is a gift. And what happens if, instead of understanding a transactional economy where this is worth this much and that is worth that much and nothing is for free, we imagine instead a gift economy, one in which we give and receive freely as we are able and as we need. Kimmerer names the service berry within Potawatomi, which is the language of her people. The word is bozak min. Min, the root, is berry, which also, she says, is the root word for gift. In naming the plants who shower us with goodness, she writes, we recognize that these are gifts from our plant relatives, manifestations of their generosity, care, and creativity. When we speak of these not as things or products or commodities, but as gifts, the whole relationship changes. I can't help but gaze at them, cupped like jewels in my hand, and breathe out my gratitude. Kimmerer takes us on a journey understanding the relationship, the symbiotic relationship of plants and birds, the gift giving that, as she says, the birds bring mobility to the seeds of the plant, while the plant brings food to the birds. And then she talks about how that might connect with economic systems that we could build, with gift economies or ecological economies. Why, she writes, have we permitted the dominance of economic systems that commoditize everything, that create scarcity instead of abundance, that promote accumulation rather than sharing? In a gift economy, she writes, wealth is understood as having enough to share, and the practice for dealing with abundance is to give it away. She tells a story in this essay about a community that was being studied by someone from outside of the community. Someone in the community had a really good hunt and came in with a large animal, much too large to eat in one sitting. And so the person who was there studying from the outside said, "Oh, what are you going to do to store the meat? Will you smoke it, or will you preserve it in some other way? How are you going to use it so that you can have it through the winter? I'm going to write it all down in my notebook." And the person who had had the good hunt said, I'm not planning to do anything to preserve it, and issued invitations to the community as a whole to come and eat, because there was enough in that hunt to feed the whole community. And the person coming in from the outside could not understand, didn't know what to write in their notebook, and asked again, like, why would you do that? You've got enough to get through the winter. The winter is tough here. Why haven't you preserved some for your own family, for yourself, for later? Why don't you store your meat somewhere? And the hunter responded, "I store my meat in the belly of my brother." Right? The abundance that I receive is for the care of the community. And so, yes, storing meat for the winter is a way of taking care for the future, but also so is storing meat in the belly of my brother. So too is sharing with each other. That's a way of taking care for the future, because the community as a whole is stronger. And because in a gift economy, we assume that gifts lead to more gifts, right? That as we care for each other, we can imagine being cared for in return. I love thinking about how some of this is possible, again, today, in this moment in the United States, when we live in an economy that is most assuredly not a gift or ecological economy writ large. Some of you know already that I am semi-obsessed with my Buy Nothing group. I actually moved recently in the summer, and one of the first things I did was write a big gratitude post for my old Buy Nothing group and immediately try to join my new Buy Nothing group, because I was in a different border area for Buy Nothing. They're both good groups. I don't pick favorites. Buy Nothing is an online Facebook usually, but also organized in other ways, where people in the neighborhood offer things they have that they don't need anymore, or ask for things that they need. Nothing is for sale or purchased. Everything is free. You are not allowed to trade. You give freely. You receive freely. And one of the tenets is that there will be enough. So if you know that in 6 months you're going to need a card table, and you see a card table, you pause and wait, because someone might need a card table in the intervening time, and you're sure there's going to be a card table in 6 months. You trust in the abundance of community. I saw a gift economy at work in Minneapolis when RevCTC and I were there just a few weeks ago, learning from the organizers in that city and the Twin Cities in general. At a time when many of the systems had failed or were actively harming people, at a time when folks couldn't get out to the store because of fear for their own safety, at a time when immigrants were unable to go to work and therefore bring in the paychecks that they needed, I saw a gift economy of mutual aid helping to keep people safe and fed. Folks were bringing food. Food pantries were doing home deliveries. And then among the helpers as well was a gift economy of care. If you're out patrolling the neighborhood, I know you're not going to be able to manage food for your family, so I can't patrol this week, but I can make a casserole and bring it by so you don't have to worry about dinner tonight, because you're out walking and standing to keep other neighbors safe. So around the networks, I saw the beginnings of what could be if the way that we cared for each other was relational. We give as we are able, we receive what we need. I think about the ways that gift economy is alive here in this congregation. I think about our little free food pantry, about the food that every Sunday morning I see someone bringing in with them as they come on Sundays, and that every week is put into the pantry and then taken by someone who needs it. I think about some of the partner organizations who use our space, who come in and are able to set up, to receive, and to give themselves. And I think about the fact that actually almost everything we do here at UUCA depends essentially on a gift economy. We are lucky to have a building that we do rent, although we also give that building as a gift to some of those organizations. But just about 70% of our budget comes from gifts from members and friends, from people who are part of this community, from you. Gifts that are freely given to support the work that the church does now, and even more the work that we will do, that we could do with the resources that the world still requires. Gifts that repair the HVAC system and the organ pipes, that pay the staff, that make change in people's lives and in the world. I think it's funny, perhaps a funny choice of mine, to have decided to give a sermon about the problem with money and then to ask you for it. But actually, I think that it is what we do with our money and with our resources in these times that make a difference. We make sure we have what we need, and then we look to each other. We look to our communities. We look to our neighbors. We do what we can to make sure they have what they need. You've heard a little bit from Wells about how our campaign will unfold. You're going to get emails weekly with updates talking to you about our people, that's our staff and our volunteers, our children, you, about our place, this building that brings beauty and connections to our neighbors, space for justice work, about our purpose, the work we're doing today, the ways we want to be able to show up for what we know is waiting for us right around the corner. And we're asking people to do all of that under the umbrella of rising to our mission, because in order to do it, in order to take good care of our people and to tend to our place, and especially in order to have the resources to keep saying yes when the world asks more of us, we need to increase our capacity to work within a world that still requires money. Sadly, not fairy dust. And so we're putting that under the umbrella of rising to mission and asking folks to step up their pledges, as Wells described. So I always like a good illustration. Okay. As you may or may not know, there's a platform behind the pulpit, because neither of us are quite tall enough, but maybe it's especially me, is not quite tall enough for our pulpit. So it's not usually used for box jumping, but that's what we're going to do today. I find that people get funny about money, they worry they don't have enough to give, they're not sure how much to give, and so I want to just very quickly offer you a comparison to the gym and to jumping on boxes. So I do CrossFit, I'm not good at it. And CrossFit includes jumping on boxes sometimes. And when I first started, I was really, really scared. I had a capacity issue, which was my size and my leg strength. And I can build that capacity, although I kind of do have a ceiling on the capacity. I'm not that tall. And then I also had a worry issue. I was scared of jumping on boxes. And so I started out with one 45-pound weight, which is very small. And then I added weights little by little until it got higher and higher. Everybody at the gym very lovingly made fun of me for what they called like building my little castle of weights. But I needed to do that in order to get myself ready to jump on what is still the lowest box in the gym, and I can only do it half the time because the other half of the time my brain's like, no, it's a box, we don't jump on those, and I can't do it. That's the problem. So what we're asking you to do with pledging this year is to see where you have pledged in the past, maybe you're at the 45-pound weight, and to see where your capacity might be. Right? What's your leg strength? What's your height? What are you able to give? If you're able to add another stack onto your weight, we invite you to do so. If you're able to actually get to a box, ready, this is the exciting part, and jump on, oh, thanks. we invite you to do that. And so you'll see the materials have some brackets. It's actually a larger box at the gym, but I was afraid I would fall. Have some brackets so you can see where you are and where you can step up to. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. Yep, there we go. Illustration with box jumping. Every jump we make is a success. That's the other thing that I think is important. I get just as good a workout jumping on my little boxes and occasionally just doing step-ups if my knees are bad as the person next to me who's on these like 24-inch high, I don't even know what they're doing over there. Same workout. So however you are able to participate and to give, what I hope we hold is that we are in this moment practicing a different kind of economy, a different kind of world, an economy where we give what we are able and where I hope in this congregation and in the world around us we receive what we need. I believe we can do it by the power of the chalice flame. Thank you. Okay. This closing hymn that folks are going to sing comes to us from Minneapolis. It's being sung all around the country this weekend as the Singing Resistance movement is inviting folks to sing out songs of resistance and power, of organizing and possibility. There is a Singing Resistance event in Arlington. A bunch of our choir members are going to go. You can see David for more information if you want to join them. That's in a week or so, I think, at the Clarendon. And the music board has the info, so let's sing together. Will you rise in body and in spirit?
Extinguish our chalice. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light and warmth it represents. These we carry with us, bringing our sparks of love to the world.
One of the things we do in this place is we bring in arts and theater and celebrate together. So as we close, I invite the cast of Tuck Everlasting, this year's Chalice Theater production, to share a song with us. Friends, may we know we are connected. May we give so it is real. Amen.
The pyramids, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Rio Grande's, the Rhine. I've seen the 7 wonders of the world. Can't wait for 8 and 9. But because of my predicament, my peculiar situation, to keep my profile low, 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 I'm a one-man operation. Jesse, I got it! You need a partner in crime, someone to share in the view. Why see the world in all of its glories without a friend to tell your stories to? Someone to stand at my side, 2 extra fists in a fight. Why should the road be long and lonely? Why not team up? We've only got tonight. If no one's there to hear it, does a falling tree make sounds? Are we heard or seen or anything without a friend around? The old Great Wall, the Taj Mahal, yes, they all have merit. But this traveling fair could take the cake because you get to share it. Carrots? You need a partner in crime, someone to share in a laugh. Running a race without a pace setter, I'm out of place without my better half. With you, the fun is 2 for 1, and chock full of surprises. With you, the line moves twice as fast, and no one realizes. With 2, whatever we do now will merit reminiscing. With 2, I finally feel somehow that something isn't missing. I have a partner in crime, someone to share in the view. Why see the world in all of its glories without a friend to tell your stories to? Fun at the fair, sun setting, tomorrow we're gone.
I've seen the 7 wonders of the world. Can't wait for 8 and 9. But because of my predicament, my peculiar situation, to keep my profile low, 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 I'm a one-man operation.
Jesse, I got it! You need a partner in crime, someone to share in the view. Why see the world in all of its glories without a friend to tell your stories to?
Someone to stand at my side, 2 extra fists in a fight. Why should the road be long and lonely?
Why not team up? We've only got tonight.